The animals are definitely eating less feed. Oh, no, I think that they only really ate about maybe about well, they're eating a little less every single day. A little less, maybe a bucket or two less. I mean, I think I only gave them 12 buckets yesterday. Oh, I gave them 14 buckets yesterday, but they left about 2 buckets of it behind. So they're definitely eating less feed. And if you take a look at the manure, you're gonna see that the manure is definitely green. They got a lot of green poop everywhere. And so these animals, they're definitely picking up on the grass. They're definitely eating the grass, and I see them out there eating the grass. When I take a look out here, I'll see them eating the grass. And so, I came out here and I gave them some food, and they're not really interested in it. So I'm gonna give them some more food here when I get done with this. But as of today, we are now officially 2 days away. It's T-minus 2 days. So I got all of these things ready to go, right? I'm looking to get my balance sheet squared away. I'm looking to get my business going in the right direction, right? I've got all these. I got this business plan, right? What is the business plan? The business plan is the business plan, right? I'm gonna liquidate about 6.5 animals a month, right? That's the big idea. I'm gonna liquidate about 6.5 animals every single month from now until effectively infinity and beyond. If anything, that number is gonna go up, right? I'm not gonna liquidate all of my animals at the same time. I'm gonna, look to produce a stable amount of return every single month, so that I can leverage the money, right? I have all these. I have this business plan made, right? I've got the details ironed out, right? What am I looking to accomplish, right? I'm looking to liquidate about 6.5 animals every single month from effectively now until infinity. If anything, the number of animals that I liquidate is going to go up, right? It's not going to go down. All right, and I'm going to expand my herd at the same time, right? That's the big idea, right? How am I going to do that, right? Because when I liquidate animals, I can effectively, I have positive equity stored in my animals, right? I have positive equity stored in my animals, and when I liquidate animals, I am effectively looking to liquidate the animals that have the least profit to be made, but have already made the most profit. Right, and so that's kind of the bigger picture things, right? And so I'm looking to I'm gonna be liquidating about 6.5 animals every single month from now until effectively infinity. If anything, the number of animals that I liquidate every month is actually going to go up, right? I'm looking to produce a stable return on my business every single month. The reason that I'm looking to do that is why, so I can leverage the money. I can talk to the banker about leveraging the money, right? And in a reality case scenario, what do I want to do? I want to grow my business and produce the cash flow at the same time. How would I do that? Well, because if I liquidate whatever, let's say I liquidate 6 animals. If I liquidate 6 animals, that leaves me with 27 animals. I take a look at the 27 animals and I say, well, I believe that these animals will be profitable for about another 4 months, for another 3 months. I believe that this is the net appreciation value gain that I will achieve on these animals. I believe that this will be the unrealized gain potential for these animals. A realistic appraisal, right? I'm not talking about just grabbing numbers out of thin air. I mean, I have a reasonable idea, like if these commodity market metrics are met, right? If I meet these metrics, if I meet these when I take a look at the commodity markets, I look at these markets, and if these market circumstances are met, then I believe that my animals will generate this much money in an unrealized gain, right? How do I do that? I take the average weight of the entire herd, and then I anticipate how much they're going to gain and how much I'm going to make for that poundage of gain. So if I'm in a situation like I am right now, I want to grow my business at the same time as I produce the cash flow, and I want to do that without leveraging myself to the eyeballs. I just want to do that, and I don't want to put myself at maximum risk or anything like that. What can I do? I can invest the money that I'm already making. I make enough money on this field already as of right now, even if I don't pull maximum cash out of my business. If I just take a reasonable amount of money out of my business right now, I can float about $2 million worth of debt, no problem. I can take a loan for $2 million and it would not phase me at all. It would be an irrelevant amount of money. I already make that money, right? So I want to leverage, and in reality, I want to do about another half of my loan in a seller finance. I've been taking a look at these very big properties. I've been taking a look at very big properties, $4 million, $5 million properties, and I've actually called around. I've actually called them and asked, what are you looking for in terms of the financing? And I found two that I really liked, and I called them both, and they both said the same thing. If you can finance half of it from a commercial bank, we will give you the other half as a seller finance. And I was like, well, that's fantastic, because I can float $2 million, no problem. I already make enough money on a 10.5 acre field to float $2 million. And in reality, here's what I'm looking to accomplish. I'm looking to expand my business at the same time as I produce the cash flow. That's what I'm looking to do. And I'm not looking to leverage myself to the eyeballs. I'm not looking to do anything like that. Right? I'm looking to leverage the money that I already make. That's the amount of money that I'm willing to leverage. I'm not going to leverage myself to the eyeballs. I am willing to leverage the money that I already make. I'm willing to leverage the money that this farm makes. That's the amount of money that I'm willing to leverage. How much will that get me? Probably about $2 million. All right. And so, and I take a look at my herd. I take a look at my balance sheet. I take a look at everything that I got going on. Well, I would anticipate that I can liquidate about 6.5 animals every month from now until infinity. Right. I want to get myself a business line of credit. I can actually start purchasing cattle on credit and just floating the debt instead of purchasing animals with cash, etc., etc. I got these various things that I'm looking to do, right? And so that's the big idea. If I sell 6 animals and I bring home cash, I still have 27 animals, and then I have these 6 animals worth of cash that I sold. That's the big idea, right? And if I have those 27 animals and I take a look at those 27 animals and I say, well, these 27 animals, I actually believe that, I brought them in at about 200 pounds. I brought these animals in at about 200 pounds. They probably weigh about 550, right? They may even weigh up to 600 on the average. They may even weigh up to 600. There's something like 550, 600. I brought them in at 200. This is how much money I believe I made on them. And I believe that they will continue to be profitable until this weight. And so I take a look at that and I say, well, how much money do I think I'm going to make between now and then? And I give it a reasonable appraisal value. And I can utilize that unrealized gain as effectively, a safety margin for me having to risk some of my money to bring in new cattle. And another way to describe this is if I, in 2 days, let's say I decided that I was going to sell my 6 cattle. And when I sold my 6 cattle, I went and I decided that, I legitimately just want to leverage myself. I want to do a 100% and not leverage myself to the eyeballs. I want to grow my business. Well, but I can't. Well, I can't really because my facilities here aren't exactly set for me to bring home 45 cattle at the same time. They're not. I would need larger facilities. I would need larger facilities to bring in 45 cattle at the same time. But this is a theoretical way to look at it. Am I going to do this? No, I'm not. But if I went and let's say I went and I sold 6 cattle. Right, let's say I went and I sold 6 cattle, and while I was at the sale barn, I also bought another 45 cattle. If I brought home those 45 cattle and all 45 cattle instantaneously dropped dead, I could actually just sell my animals, and I said, that's enough for me. I want to quit my business, and I wanted to walk away from the business. After all 45 of those cattle instantaneously dropped dead, I could walk away from the business with $0. That's another way to look at it. I wouldn't lose any money. I would just be at $0. I could walk away from the business. And so that's effectively what I'm looking to do. Am I looking to go and buy 45 cattle and have all of them instantaneously drop dead? No, I'm not. What am I looking to do, right? I'm looking to grow my business, efficiently and, at the maximum capacity possible without causing any damage to the business. If I, and I'm not even going to say if, because now it's just a matter of time. I already know what I want to do. I already know what I'm looking to do. I've got these things ready to roll. I'm good to go. If I went tomorrow, in 2 days, if I went and I sold 6 animals and I brought home 45 animals and all 45 animals instantaneously dropped dead, I could walk away from the business with $0. It wouldn't matter to me. All right, so, I'm ready to go. I've taken a look at it. I've made a business plan. I've taken a look at it for, and I've decided what I want to do. And so that's ultimately what I've decided that I want to do. No, I'm not even going to say want. Want is not the right word. Want is technically incorrect. I'm not going to say I want to do it. It's just what I've decided that I'm going to do. All right, because when I think about growing my business, here's the thing about growing my business is that in reality, the money is not going to do anything. That, I already make enough money to effectively do anything on the entire planet. I legitimately could shovel $500,000 into a hole in the ground right now and light it on fire, and it wouldn't do anything to me. It wouldn't even matter to me. Legitimately 100% honest to God. I already make enough money on this 10.5 acre field to do effectively anything on the entire planet. It doesn't matter. All right, it doesn't matter. I don't know how else to put that. Money, I don't even worry about, I don't even worry about money anymore. Not a micro sliver of my soul is worried about money. I'm not worried about cattle going to zero. I'm not worried about beef ever being free. I'm not worried about land valuations ever going to zero. Land is never going to be free. All right, I'm not worried about money at all. Legitimately 0%. And I can, I know I've talked about this a lot, right? If I felt like, I don't want to farm 350 acres or whatever. I don't want to farm 400 acres, and I want to go back to a 10.5 acre field for the rest of my life and just sit here and make $25,000 a month forever. I could do that. It's not a big deal. It's not like, oh my God, now that, I can just sell the land and sell the cattle and come back. All right, it's not that big of a deal. And so, I got my business plan ready to go. We're actually 2 days away now. Now it's 2 days away. In terms of a reality sense of what I want to do. And want is not the right word. What am I looking to do? Right? Because when I grow my business and things like this, I'm just more or less looking to challenge myself. All right, I'm looking to challenge myself. I feel like it's a good way for me to apply myself. It gives me something good to do, right? I'm not selling my soul to the devil to do it, right? It gives me something positive to do. Want is not the right word. I don't know why I keep saying want. Want is not the right word. It's technically incorrect. It's just what I'm looking to do. It's what I've decided that I'm going to do. It just is what it is. All right, it just is what it is. It's what I'm going to go and do. I've decided that this is what I'm going to do. All right, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the money at all. 0% of me is worried about money. Short of, as long as I don't go and be an idiot, right? I've always said that and here's actually something I want to talk about. I'm looking to talk about. I don't know why I keep on saying this word want. I don't want anything. Here's something that I'm looking to talk about. The idea, I've talked about this. The whole idea of being an idiot, and and I wanted to make a clear cut thing. If you go and do something, chances are it's not going to turn out very good. You're going to have to try again, probably. And I talk about this all the time. I'm not making this up. I didn't even make it until I was 32. I effectively had a net worth of under 200 grand until I was 32. All right, and then when I was 32, I broke the million mark. And now I don't even know what my net worth is. I make enough money to do anything on the entire planet, though. It doesn't matter. That's legitimately what my net worth is. When I think about my net worth, it's like, what would I sell 10% of my business for? I wouldn't even sell, realistically, I don't even know if I would sell 10% of my business for $25 million. What would that matter to me? Right? It doesn't matter. Again, here's the thing about my situation. My whole entire situation is that, well, okay, but let me make this point first. The whole thing about being an idiot and making fumbling or whatever are two completely separate things. Okay. It takes a lot of time. All right, it takes a lot of time. I mean, what are some things that a legitimate idiot will do? Oh, well, I fell out of heaven a 7. Right, I'm gonna skip to the finish line. I don't have to worry about right. I mean, maybe I was born with the answer, and the answer is fantastic, right? I mean, there are things like, if you legitimately do these things, you will be more or less an idiot. All right, money is not an opinion. This is something I talk about all the time. Money is not an opinion. Nobody cares about your opinion. Money is money. It's a number. It's more like just a statement of fact. Money is not an opinion. All right, I don't know how else to put that. And when it comes to money, for me, honest to God, legitimately 100%, there is 0% of me that is concerned about money. 0%. I am not concerned about money at all. When I think about my net worth, I don't even know what my net worth is, but it's a lot. Right? I mean, 99.99999% of my net worth came directly from the cattle business. I make money running cattle. That's how I make my money. I don't make money by coming up with worthless schemes. I don't make money by selling courses on YouTube. I don't do any of that stuff. I legitimately make my money running cattle. 100%. It doesn't matter. 99.9999% of my net worth comes directly from the cattle business. And the cattle business makes me enough money to effectively, I can do whatever the heck I want on the entire planet. It doesn't matter. All right, short of like drugs, alcohol, gambling, being an idiot, anything short of anything like that, I can do anything. It doesn't matter. If I wanted to go and if I went to the bank right now and got $500,000 and I dug a hole in the ground and I shoveled that $500,000 into the ground and then I lit that money on fire, it wouldn't even do anything to me. It wouldn't matter to me. Legitimately would not faze me at all. And when it comes to the reality of my situation, I actually don't know anybody that can even do 10%. I'm being completely serious. I'm not saying this to be arrogant. I'm not saying this to be a jerk. I'm just giving a statement of fact. And chances are, like, if you're looking at me and you're looking at my situation, and chances are you have no idea what's going on at all. If anything, you're actually going 180 degrees in the wrong way. Most of you are, I guarantee it. And I like that, because me, it's like, my whole situation is that I don't go around and, I don't like to be whatever, right? Most people don't know. Even when you're looking right at it, you actually probably have no idea. And I kind of enjoy that. I call, I guess the Gen Z, I don't know if this is a Gen Z term or what gen it is, but, I think it's called stealth wealth. Nobody knows. I don't even know what my net worth is, but it's a lot. I effectively, I do not worry about money at all. I don't worry about money at all. If I'm legitimately like in a situation where I believe that I need to increase my revenue, I will just run more cattle. It doesn't matter to me. Even if I lost everything today, I could redo everything within 3 seconds. It doesn't matter to me. All right, and I'm not worried about cattle going to zero forever. All right, the beef is never going to be free. Land is not ever going to be free. If anything, it's going to go the other way. But I don't think either of those situations are going to happen. I legitimately have zero money concerns. I don't know how else to put that. I legitimately have zero money concerns. I don't know what my net worth is, but it's a lot. I don't even concern myself with money. Money does not concern me. I take a look at different things, right? What direction am I going to take my business? Right? What body conditioning score on my cattle? How am I going to budget for these cattle? When I bring them in, what is the preconditioning program? What are the mineral levels of my field? I think about different things. I don't even concern myself with money anymore. Money is irrelevant. All right, I make enough to do anything on the entire planet, just about, more or less, short of like a private jet or gambling, drugs. But even one day, and I thought about this, but I could probably buy a private jet. I just couldn't buy the gas and the pilot and the insurance. But I mean, if I just wanted to buy a private jet, I could even buy a private jet. I mean, would I be able to fly around in it? No, I wouldn't. right? I mean, because then you got to pay the pilot, and you probably need insurance on the thing, and I'm sure that the thing, it's a piece of equipment. You're gonna have to pay to fix it, right? And you're gonna have to pay for gas, right? You know, but that's irrelevant. What do I need a private jet for, right? I mean, more or less, you know, I'm not gonna go on a 2-week trip, right? I mean, you know, I'm more than happy just being right where I am, right? And so, you know, but that's my situation. In all honesty, honest to God, it just is what it is. I'm not worried about money at all. Legitimately 0%. All right, I don't know what my net worth is, but it's a lot. I don't know what it is, but it's enough to where I don't worry about money anymore. Legitimately 0% of me is worried about money at all. I don't worry about money at all. All right, and 99.999% of my entire net worth came from the cattle business, directly from running cattle. If I feel like increasing my revenue, I will just run more cattle. All right, you know, nobody cares about opinions. Your opinions don't matter. Opinions are worthless. All right, money is just is what it is. And that's what I got going in terms of my business plan right now, right? I've been talking about my business plan. What am I going to do in terms of my business plan? Why am I doing it? I'm getting myself ready to take a big loan. I want to take a big loan for the amount of money that I'm making on this property, because I already make the money and I'm not worried about that. If anything, I've actually made more money, you know, before. I'm not really making a whole lot of money right now. You know, I'm not really, you know, I'm just kind of maintaining the business. I'm getting everything ready to go, right? I'm getting everything ready to go. I've taken a look at the average weight of my animals, right? I've taken a look at the length of time that I will need me to liquidate these animals, and I'm scheduling all that. I'm anticipating how much money am I going to make when I do that, right? Et cetera, right? And what's the net evaluation of my herd? What does my balance sheet look like? And what am I looking to do, right? I'm taking a look at all of these different things, right? And so, you know, but that's the situation that I'm in. That's a very realistic way for me to put it. If on Monday, let's say I go and I sell 4 cattle, and when I sell those 4 cattle, I still have 29 animals. I take a look at my 29 animals and I say, you know what? I think that these 29 animals are worth about 45 animals. I brought them in at about 200 pounds, and I'm anticipating that I continue to bring them in at about 200 pounds. And I would say that their average weight right now is about 600 or whatever, 550, 600. And I've taken a look at it and I say, you know what? Okay, well, I mean, if I go right now and I keep these 2 herds separated, I keep these animals profitable. I think that these animals will continue to be profitable for about 3 months, right? They're only eating about 14 buckets of grain, 12 buckets of grain, and the rest of they're eating on grass. I mean, you can take a look at them. They're not hungry. They're laying around even though I gave them food, right? I mean, you know, and the grass is practically free. And if anything, the grass is going to continue to grow better because the weather is changing to be warmer, right? And I've taken a look at my overall situation. And, you know, I said, well, I mean, you know, theoretically, technically, if I went and when I sold those 4 cattle, if I came home with 45 cattle and those 45 cattle all instantaneously dropped dead, and then I decided that I wanted to quit the business, I could actually quit the business and just walk away with $0. And actually, if I just held on to my animals, if I think about it like 2 separate herds, I got the 45 animals and then I got these animals, and these animals are still profitable for another 3 months, I could actually even walk away with money. It wouldn't matter. And I've always said that the thing about you know, having an animal die, the money doesn't matter to me. I just, you know, to me, I don't want to see the animal die, right? That's the whole thing, you know. But my whole thing is I want to take care of the animal. But that's also the thing about the sale barn, is that you need to realize that people are not selling the cream of the crop calf. I'm telling you this because it's just relevant information, and you're going to have to understand this. But the stocker calf business, if you legitimately are going to the sale barn and doing what I'm doing, you're buying 200-pound calves one at a time, you are effectively doing the hardest thing that you could ever do in the beef business. You probably don't understand this. People are not selling their cream of the crop calf. People are not going, oh my God, here is my best calf. Let me take this calf to the sale barn. A lot of time, these animals have a lot of problems. All right, and that's also why they're sold for, you know, sometimes significantly less, not always, but sometimes. If you have a healthy calf, that calf will sell for market value. I would say, but about somewhere around 20% of the calves at the sale barn probably have somewhere around 10 to 20% have something majorly wrong with them, right? Their mama died, right? I mean, the farmer doesn't know when it happened, but their mama died, and now the calf's been walking around on the field by itself for a week, right? Or the farmer doesn't know what's going on with it, but they've just decided that they don't want to take the risk and they're going to sell the calf. Right, the animal it looks sick and it doesn't look very strong, so the calf, the farmer doesn't want to take a risk on it, so they just sell the calf. While the calf was at the sale barn, it was next to a sick animal and actually picked up the illness, and now the calf also has the illness. Something has gone wrong, and so you need to be ready for that. The stocker calf business is the hardest thing that you can do in the beef business. It is the hardest. Ask any beef cattleman. Ask anybody. Not anybody, but ask a legitimate cattleman. What do they think about the stocker calf business? It is the hardest thing that you could ever do in the beef business. Going to the sale barn and buying 200-pound calves one at a time is a horrendously difficult thing to do. Horrendously difficult. It might not get any harder than that. All right, and so it just is what it is, and I talk about this, and I've been talking about this. Chances are, it just is what it is. I don't know anybody that can even do 10%, not even 10%. All right, and there's a reason for that. But that's my situation, is that I got everything ready to go. I got my business plan made. What am I looking to do with the money? How much money do I anticipate that I'm going to make? Right? What are some things that I can do? The whole thing is that I just go and talk to the banker about it, right? If you go and you talk to the banker about it and you say, give me a loan for $2 million, and they say, oh, well, we're not going to give you a loan for $2 million, unless you do these things, right? You're going to have to, raise your credit score, lower your debt to income ratio, and whatever, right? And then I just say, okay, thank you, banker, and then I leave, and then I go and do that, right? I can whatever, right? I can utilize the cash flow to do whatever, increase whatever. I can increase the whatever, right? I can increase the credit score, and then I can lower my debt to income ratio at the same time, and then whatever it is I need to do, that I can just do it, and then they'll give me the loan. Right? But that's what I'm looking for. Why am I looking for that? Because that's what I can effectively, that's the amount of money that I make right now. If I took a loan for $2 million, it wouldn't do anything. All right? It wouldn't do anything. I don't care about, it wouldn't do anything. I can afford $2 million right now, no problem. That's why I want a loan for $2 million. And so, and if I can sell or finance the other $2 million and get myself a $4 million property, now that's good. Right, that's more or less what I want. 2.5 million, 5 million, something like that. And so now we're effectively 2 days away now. We're 2 days away. I've got the business plan made. I've got the balance sheet ready to go. I'm in the net positive pretty drastically on my cattle. The herd is stabilized. I'm ready to go. I'm anticipating that I produce I have an estimate for how much money am I going to make every single month. And that amount of money that I'm looking to make every single month is so that I can bring home the cash without damaging the business, right? That's the other side of the thing. I'm not looking to pull maximum cash out of my business. All right, you don't want to be in a situation where you're pulling maximum cash out of your business. That's not going to do anything, and it's not good for the business. I have a certain amount of cash that I want to pull out of my business every month. That amount of cash is not going to damage my business. It's just going to be the amount of money that I'm effectively making. And I still have a net positive equity amount in my animals, right? And then I have this balance sheet that's effectively, that I have a very healthy balance sheet. My animals are very far in the net positive. I'm looking to produce some cash flow. I'm looking to produce a cash flow that's effectively going to get me what I need, right? It's going to give me enough money to get me whatever I'm looking to do, right? And it's not going to damage my business. And if I want to hold on to the cash, I can leverage against the herd. Whatever it is that I need to do, I can do it. All right. I'm not going to be damaging my business by pulling cash out of my business. You don't want to be in a situation where you're pulling maximum cash out of your business. I talk about this all the time. I would highly suggest that you don't do that. because you know, there's no reason to do that. Why pull maximum cash out of your business? I mean, rearrange your balance sheet. I mean, take a look at your balance sheet and increase your revenue, and then if you do that, I mean, and I know that, but I mean, you know, it's like but I mean, it's whatever, right? I mean, you know, I would not be pulling maximum cash out of the business. If I was put in a situation where I legitimately decided that I needed more cash, I'm actually taking a look at it and I need more cash, which I don't think about. I mean, that's, I don't think about that. All right, I don't need any more money. All right, I can already, you know, well, I'm not gonna say I don't need more money. It's just kind of trivial. But if I decide, okay, I do need to increase my revenue, I can just run more cattle. I'm not going to start pulling maximum cash out of my business to increase the amount of cash that I have. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to increase my revenue. I'm going to run more cattle. All right. And so I have a very healthy balance sheet. My investments are stabilized. I have an idea for how much money I'm going to generate every month. And if anything, the amount of money that I'm generating every month is actually going to go up. How is it going to go up? Because I'm looking to leverage the money that I make for a new piece of land, for a big piece of land. And then I am going to effectively grow my herd and produce the cash flow at the same time. That's the big idea. I'm going to utilize a stabilized investment as a collateral source, and then I can effectively leverage against the appraisal value, and the stabilized investment will continue to produce me cash flow. So that's the big idea. And so, but now we're effectively 2 days away. And so, you know, but that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.